The Caribe is the debut watch from Microbrand ARDIO, and I'm excited to share these two colors with you today because this brand, ARDIO, has reminded me of what I love about Microbrands. Great designs, attention to detail, all the specs we ask for, and incredible value for money. Hey now, I'm Whit. Great to have you here. I've got the light blue Caribe, and on my wrist you see the gauge brass. Pretty cool, huh? So this is a 200-meter sport watch with a 12-hour dual-time bezel. Yeah, one of the things I mentioned in my opening is the value for money, and I'll tell you, this package is packed. You get this watch on a premium-fitted beads of rice bracelet. A silicone tropic style strap is included, plus an Italian leather strap, spring bar tool, and a carrying case. And this debut watch from ARDIO, the first generation of the Caribe, is limited to 300 pieces as indicated on the case back. And each timepiece is tested and the movement is hand regulated right here in the USA. I mean, that's what a Microbrand should be doing, right? Okay, so I've given you a lot of reasons to keep watching the video. Now I'm going to give you the specs before I get into my likes and dislikes. The Caribe has a 40 millimeter diameter, 48 millimeters lug to lug. You've got a 20 millimeter lug width for your straps, and it's about 12.8 millimeters thick, including that crystal, and just 10.8 millimeters in thickness if you don't include it. The Caribe weighs 154 grams on the supplied bracelet, and the watch head alone is just 66 grams. The case is 316L stainless steel, completely brushed with the exception of the edge of the bezel and the knurling. It's got a signed screw-down crown that's 6 millimeters in diameter and features crown guards. There's a solid screw-down case back with some of your specs wrapped around and your watch number, 200 meters of water resistance. This is a double dome sapphire crystal which sits up proudly from that bezel, and it features anti-reflective coating as well. And that bezel is one-piece stainless steel. It got brushwork on the top side, and as I mentioned, a little bit of polishing on the edge there and the knurling. It's a 120-click unidirectional bezel, and the markings are 12-hour for dual time. And the 12 o'clock spot has a inverted triangle that is lume-filled. Speaking of the luminescence, this is Swiss BGW9. It's applied to the indices, the handset, and that bezel pip. The bracelet is 316L surgical grade stainless steel, and it's got that traditional beads of rice look to it, brushed links on the outside, and individual polished links in the middle. The sizing is via single-sided screw pin links. There's a fully milled clasp with the ARDIO signature on the outside, double push-button release to reveal decorated hinges. Come on, what other Microbrand have you seen do that? And a couple of great features. It's got quick release spring bars and a toolless micro adjust with 5 positions. Now, ARDIO have selected the Miyota 9039 premium mechanical movement for the Caribe. This has got 24 joules. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, or 8 ticks per second. It features hacking, automatic, and hand winding, about a 42-hour power reserve, stated accuracy of -10 to +30 seconds per day. I hand time each of these watches, and the blue dial came in after about 17 days at -0.7 seconds per day. And the brass dial, after about 13 days, came in at +3.1 seconds per day. You can see similar results here with the blue dial coming in at 0 seconds per day live on the time grapher, amplitude of 241 degrees, and a beat error of 0.6 milliseconds. And the brass dial, while less accurate, actually a little healthier at +2 seconds per day, amplitude of 281 degrees, and less of a beat error at 0.1 milliseconds. Well, now let me give you my likes and dislikes on the Caribe, and I'll be honest with you, there's really only one negative that I have, and I'll start with that, and it's the bezel. So the knurling is not the best. Now, you can turn it. It is a little, slippery here if you grab it from the sides. If it's on the strap, I think it's better to grab it here. It's got a much better grip, between the lugs, because you can get deeper, lower to get that bezel turning. So that is not bad. It's when it's on the bracelet, then you can't really grab that spot there as well. It's not the worst bezel in the world, but again, just a little bit slippery. But the good news is with a 12-hour bezel, in most cases, you're going to set that to the second time zone and then leave it, right? Now, it may be a little silly for me to explain, but if you don't know how a 12-hour bezel bezel works. You just offset the time there by the second time zone you want to cover. So in my case, I'm tracking the Pacific time zone here, which is 3 hours behind me. So you see when it's noon here, it's 9 there. Then you use the hands like normal, but telling time from the outside bezel. So you can see on the West Coast, it's nearly 7 o'clock, and on the East Coast, it's nearly 10 p.m. Okay, let's tell you about all the things I love. And first, it's this dial. I mean, each of them, they're so dynamic. This gauge brass dial has that circular brushing, and the light blue is said to be a freckled matte dial, but I rarely see those freckles come out. For the most part, it just looks like a beautiful matte dial to me that gets a bit of a gloss appearance from that crystal. But I love the design of the indices. You see that teardrop index there. And the legibility is great for how thin this handset is. This case is a timeless design. It's got that classic skin diver look to it. And it's got the tool watch aesthetics with the brushing throughout, nice stubby crown guards, and a 6mm crown. The crystal is raised for that vintage acrylic look, but of course you've got the ruggedness of sapphire. And I always love those crystal distortions on that outside edge. I like the movement choice. The Miyota 9039 has got a higher beat movement than some of its competitors, so you get that smoother sweep of the seconds hand. And how cool is it that they're hand regulating this movement here in the United States? I mean, that is some confidence in quality control. And the bracelet, I mean, I could almost do a full review on this bracelet alone. I mean, this beads of rice is so comfortable to wear. The articulation and the breathability from the holes in that center section. And it brings a little bling to the watch as well, since it's brushed everywhere else. You got a nice bit of polishing on that center section to catch some light and some attention. And the decorated clasp hinges, I mean, what other Microbrand have you seen do that? And I've got to say that the quick release spring bars on the bracelet are some of the best that I've experienced. This is the easiest watch that I've had to put back on the quick release spring bar bracelets. And that's because it's got a little notch here that allows you to set the end link down onto the watch head without it falling through. And then you simply squeeze the two levers together to install it. And don't forget about that toolless micro adjust. This is just simply something that we all want. Yeah, so overall, this is probably one of the best and most comfortable bracelets that I've experienced to date. The Caribe from ARDIO runs about $499 US. That includes the bracelet, the tropic style silicone strap, the Italian leather strap, a travel spring bar toolkit, and a travel case. So yeah, that's 3 watch bands that you get with this watch, 3 completely different looks. And it comes in the 2 colors I've shown you today, light blue and gauge brass. Plus there's isotope green, gilded black, and sunrise orange. Wow, the debut watch from ARDIO, the Caribe, I mean, you can tell that a lot of thought has gone into every little detail of this watch, and they just knocked this thing out of the park for their first watch. This is so cool. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And check out this video if you got time. I'll see you over there. I'm Whit with so many watches, so little time and money.